us for the past 2 years and was unable to have the time to be with us. So she grieved for this moment because she loved being in our presence. Brothers and sisters, we in Trinidad and Tobago, who are not the people who are not members of this party, wants to see Kamla Prasad-Bissessar back in the corridors of governance to lead this country once more. But because this is an internal election, they are not part of this voting process. But they're waiting with great anticipation for the opportunity when an election is called to go and vote for this party that he leads. But hear what? This election, it is an election for all the members of this party to vote. So the non-members waiting to elect her as leader, the members of this party have to go out there in their large numbers and show this nation that they have full and total support of these people. When the votes are counted on the 26th, Rowley will be shaking and everything on him. So I call on you tonight, members of this great party, I call on you tonight. You know, last election, last internal, I met a lot of people saying, she win already. I don't have to go and vote. She go win. I am saying to us tonight, you know, they say, we're supporting her, but we have to go and vote. I am saying to you tonight, carry your support to the polling station and ensure that Kamla win with the greatest amount of support she ever get. So that when Trinidad and Tobago sees that all the membership of this United National Congress soldiers standing solidly behind Kamla and the star team, well then they say, yes, yes, yes. So, brothers and sisters, we have a responsibility. We have an assignment for the next 6 days. We have an assignment not to take lightly, not to make joke. Go out there and get every member to the polling station. Forget who didn't talking to who. Forget who didn't call who. Forget who you didn't see for the last month or the last year or the last 6 months. Forget that. This is about Kamla, Susila, Prasad and the star team. So brothers and sisters, we look forward. We look forward for all of us here and all who are under the sound of our voices. We look forward for your great support on June 26th. God bless our nation. God bless Kamla Prasad-Bissessar.
Internal elections is heating up with Star Team
UNC,
John,
Lee,
Munilal,
Tanku,
Amin,
Sobers, Mohit,
Hussein,
Sylvester,
Gosai,
Ratuam,
Morris,
Butram,
Badal,
Zaku,
Roberts.
Obika,
17 candidates.
one leader.
Under my leadership, the UNC will never, ever abandon you.
Live stream on all platforms June 26. The United National Congress. One team.
One leader.
My brothers and sisters, my task is not so very easy here tonight. I have been given the opportunity to introduce the next speaker. A man softly spoken, but I tell you, do not trust
how he speaks softly. In Sangi Grande, the councillors call him the Terminator. Brothers and sisters, he served as the General Secretary of our great party, the United National Congress. He presently serves as the chairman of our great party, and he will be returning as the chairman of our great party. Please put your hands and welcome MP for our Puch West, MP Mr. Dave Tango.
Are you ready? Well, as they say in the worldwide wrestling, to the thousands present here tonight and the tens of thousands looking on social media, on the internet throughout the world, let's get ready to rumble! Political leader of the United National Congress, past, present, and future, Mrs. Kamala Sushila Prasad Bisesa Senior Counsel. My brothers and sisters, all members of parliament, senators, members of councils, army of the UNC, good night. It has been a while since we have been able to gather like this together, face to face, as a UNC family, to talk to each other, to share ideas and plans, and to work together to rescue and restore our beloved country. Make no doubt about it. Make no mistake, that is what this election is about. This UNC election is about selecting 18 critical persons from amongst you, from amongst your membership, to take this party into government. That is what this election is about. This is not just about the UNC. This is about the country. This is about an alternative government, the executive of the party who will hold the PNM over the fire and demand accountability and transparency and justice for you citizens. This is no joke. This is serious business, because every day people come to my office, every day begging for jobs, for food, for money to buy medicine, unable to afford surgeries, unable to send their children to school because they can't afford the transport costs, the books, the uniform, or even lunch for their children. And this is the experience every councillor here has had, every member of parliament, every religious organization and leader, every businessman, every community activist, every social worker. You know firsthand how bad things have gotten under this PNM for the last 7 years. Every single person, every one of you knows somebody who has been raped, killed, murdered, assaulted under this government. That is the state of the country we are in today. And every day, this wicked, nasty man named Coleman Burt, this spiteful Rowley, this malicious Farris, this incompetent Terrence, this arrogant small pin Stuart Young, and this useless Rohan Sinanan spend hundreds of millions of your dollars to enrich their friends, family, and financiers. This election is about that business, because when you elect us into office, you elected us to fight on your behalf, to demand justice for the infants and teenagers who continue to be raped, bullied, and assaulted because the Prime Minister's office simply don't care about people. Is that right? Is that acceptable? This election, ladies and gentlemen, is serious business. It's not just about the UNC, it is about saving the country. So when you have people who want to take over this party, who want to lead you, carrying on conversations, talking to themselves and to a hand muppet named Skerrill, and tell people to vote for somebody named Faoud when there's nobody named Faoud going up for election. That is making a mockery of our election process. And when you have another one who for the last 7 years sitting down sniping against you members, saying all kind of nastiness about the membership, that is about making a mockery of the process. Running around like chicken licking, making all kind of nasty comments. Enough of that. While we were building this party, they were busy destroying it. Ask them where they were when you and our political leader was gathering material to make hampers to feed poor people. Ask them where they were when you were gathering material to make masks, to compile packets of medical supplies for poor people. Ask them where they were. Ask them where they were up to now, just recently, when there were floods in this area here. Ask them where they were. Because this is not about post. When you are elected to this party, you are elected to serve the people. Let me make it quite clear that I have no problem with anybody else aspiring for office, you know. That is what the process is about. Aspire to office. Anybody, our constitution allows you a myriad of possibilities to serve. Lots of opportunities at the party group level, constituency executive, national executive, elected member of parliament, senator, or you can serve on the multiple standing and ad hoc committees of the party. But let's get serious, because this is serious business. If you are talking down to UNC people before you get elected, what are you going to do afterwards? Enough is enough. Because political service is about service. People forget that. People forget that. The irony is, if you listen to those same people, the parties in crisis, they will have you believe that your party is in crisis, but nothing could be further from the truth. The UNC is stronger today than it has ever been in our history. Every single day, your representatives can be seen in public, in the newspaper, on TV, on radio, and on social media, calling out this government to account. Every bacchanal you have heard that this government has been involved in, and there's plenty, it's non-stop. When it's not Faris and the children, it's just this liar lying internationally. Could you believe that? They done run out of lies in the parliament. They're carrying the line internationally now. A man who should know better go on international with the lie. And as if that's bad enough. And next one, claiming that he write whole thesis and thing, you know. Lie. This party called the PNM has the most liars from top to bottom in the country. And they're lying to you, but lie ain't cheap. Lie is not cheap. Because you are paying them. It is your money paying their salary for when they lie. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what this election is about. This election is about you putting 18 persons to save the country together with you, to work with you to build this party, to ensure that whenever it is called local government or general election, whenever it is called, that this government is removed and Kamla Persad-Bissessar is returned to office as the next prime minister of this country. But to do that, ladies and gentlemen, we need your vote. Take nothing for granted. You would have heard other speakers here tonight say that. Take nothing for granted. Do you know we lost the general election of 2020 because 2,500 people in 2 seats didn't come out to vote? You know that? Do you know we lost a regional corporation because less than 200 people did not come out to vote? So you see this internal election, take nothing for granted. One vote makes a difference. And if you really think that this is only about the UNC thing, you see when this government rob, you see when this government feed their friends, family and financiers, it's thieving from you. There's a man named Monilal, not Rudal, a fellow named Monilal Lalchan. He is the procurement regulator. And several years ago, he said that $5.2 billion trillion every year is lost in this country because of what? Procurement legislation not in place. You know what procurement legislation is? That is the law that prevents people from thieving. That is the law that makes sure that contracts are legally proceeded with. That is the law that protects your interests. And this government refuses. They refuse to implement it. Ask yourself why a government would not want to have a situation where your purse is protected. Ask yourself why. Well, let me tell you if you're not sure. That's why they could give their friend, family, and financiers contracts. You know, to make matters worse, they passed it in Parliament. Regulations came to Parliament, they passed that in Parliament too. So they bring the regulations, they defended it, they passed it in Parliament, and they sit down on it. You know why they sit down on it? They give it to a man. They give it to a man, the Attorney General of Trinidad and Tobago. They give it to him to review their own work. You buy that? This is a man who apparently don't know right from wrong. And so shameless that even when he caught in the middle of it, even when caught with his hand literally in the cookie jar lying, he still stand up there like if nothing happened. Because the PNM believes that you will do nothing. This election, ladies and gentlemen, this election on Sunday coming is the opportunity for you to send a signal to all of Trinidad and Tobago. Let the membership of the UNC speak out. Let them show that there is hope. There is an opportunity. There is a chance for a better Trinidad and Tobago. Performance beats old talk every time. So you don't have to believe me, you know. The fact is, in the 5 years that Kamla Persad-Bissessar was Prime Minister, this country developed every single place, everywhere. And in the last 7 years of the PNM, it went totally up. Where we created jobs, they take away. Where we created space, where we build the economy, they cancel it. Is that what you want, ladies and gentlemen? So this Sunday, 26th of June, make a difference. Put your X by every single star that you see. Somebody has said it before. Follow the stars. Follow the stars. And let us return Kamla Persad-Bissessar to the rightful position as Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. I am UNC and proud.
Yes, we are UNC and proud. Our next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, needs absolutely no introduction. I just glimpsed back and he looks ready. Some know him as Senator Roberts, but he is fondly known as the Douglas for his brave, bold, and unfiltered defense of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Please help me welcome the star candidate for Northeast Coordinator, the Honorable Senator Anil Roberts.
Sitaram, Salamu alaikum, buenas noches, good night, UNC family! It makes me feel proud when I see my UNC soldiers gathered together as one. When we unite, it makes us know that the light will rise, the sun will shine again, and Kamla Persad-Bissessar will once again return to the job. Trinidad! The United National Congress is strong, unified, from top to bottom, across the whole country. Councillors, constituency executives, national executives, up to one leader, one party, all united under Kamla Persad-Bissessar. The dividers are all around. The dividers have been around since Dr. Eric Eustace Williams decided to divide this country along lines of race and gerrymandered boundaries. Those dividers remain and are aided and abetted by a mass media that is as corrupt as a TSTT $75,000 contract. The media upholds the PNM gerrymandering, lies, treachery, and allows a miscreant and his band of brigands, his cabinet of conspirators, his pod of plagiarists, and his den of delinquents to be in power. Imagine you have a man named Foster in charge of charting the future of our youth, creating opportunities for our young ones, and whole day he dodging police, FIU, ACIB, Constable, Integrity Commission, and now even the university police looking for he. And he is a minister in the cabinet. You have Armour, the new word for lie, an attorney general who get a kobo sweat and the first thing he can do is sign, read, understand, and sign again and stamp his name to a plethora of lies. And you all want to continue to divide? Do not let the ghost of Dr. Williams survive till now. It is time to put Dr. Williams to rest. He has divided this country from inception. At the onset of our Constitution, at the discussion in Marlborough House, then there are a different set of dividers who are infiltrated by the PNM and the media. In 1986, when we all united to obliterate the PNM, dividers started to work their magic. Could you believe that a man with 2 seats, who was allowed to be prime minister by another man with 12 seats, which added up to 33 seats, actually took basket from the PNM and the media and disrespected the man with the 12 seats and caused a government to collapse and the PNM come back because dividers are all around. In 2001, the UNC was strong and united, and the dividers worked their magic and spun a web around Ramesh, Romeo, and Ralph, and the PNM came back. In 2010, the dividers were around, inside and outside the cabinet, and Dukaran and Myers and other COP members and the MSJ under David Abdullah, who had built smelter and approved it with the EMA, divided our government. But Kamla Prasad Bisesa was strong enough to hold out to the entire term. But then the liars and dividers came through, and they scrambled and stole and gerrymandered an election. This is enough. We must unite. There are dividers amongst us now who must be told to go where they come from. So to all those who love Kamla when they have big work, but when it's time to work for the team and them don't have the work, and they want to give a little child, a young person, a chance to uplift themselves, them vex and want to divide. I say to Vasant, Ramona, Botiwari, go and join all your PNM. Because when we were working hard and people were left out of this country, and Kamla and the MPs and the councillors and all of you were on the ground working, they were laughing when we lost. While we cried and we knew that the future of the country was dark, that a lying miscreant had gotten power, those people were laughing because they helped them. They say, aha, we catch Kamla. She lost. Now we could come and lead. Lead who? Lead where? Fire burn all you. Come out of here. Double as the leader and be stronger now. And to the final dividers, to the final divisive people who have no intellectual capability, who say that African and Indian are different, when we all bleed the same blood. We all came here and we all built this country. To those who preach race, I said there will be a special place in Lekoto for each and every one of you. I am a Douglas. My father is a tall black Tobagonian African, and my mother, God rest her soul, was a sari wearing everyday Indian woman. So am I to say, if I have two workers and the Indian working hard and intelligent and reaching early, and my African brother reaching late, he want to pay early, he not doing any work, he mashing up things, I must not choose the Indian? If I, in Trinidad and Tobago, have two doctors, and my Indian doctor, every time he prescribe medicine for me, I'm feeling better, I'm looking good, I have energy, I'm moving strong, and every time I go by my African doctor, I have no education, I have no feeling good, my medicine making me sick, I had diarrhea and vomiting, I go still go by the African doctor and not by the Indian. That's how ridiculous race is. The PNM beats people, hits them cough after cough in the face. Black people, Indian, all Trinbagonians. You are going to tell me that we must vote for cough, we must vote for bus face, we must vote for knockout teeth. Anybody who says that is a divider and needs to go. To all dividers I say tonight, fire burn each and every one of you. The UNC is strong. The UNC is united. The UNC is one. One leader, Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Good night.
DJ run it again. Yeah. I turn up the fed till it's on over.
Pleasant good night to my UNC family and my political leader, Ms. Kamla Prasad Bisesa. I am UNC and proud. I am Susan Holder, Alderman in the Sandy Grande Regional Corporation, and I am supporting Ms. Kamla Prasad Bisesa and the STAR team. As we see at this time, the momentum is building up, and I am feeling very excited. I wish in the morning was election so that we can endorse Ms. Kamla Prasad Bisesa as our political leader. It's my privilege tonight to invite to the podium Mr. Rushton Parry, MP for Mayaro.
Good night, my UNC family. My job is a simple one tonight. I am here to tell you exactly what we want you to do on June 26th. Why you have to do what we want you to do. Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa, political leader. Okay, the political leader is here. Would you all stand up as we welcome her?
Kamla. 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 Kamla.
Better days are
Kamla. Kamla. Kamla.
pass you by and remain.
Kamla.
Better days are
Kamla. Kamla. Kamla.
pass you by and remain.
Kamla. Kamla.
There's no panorama.
Kamla. Kamla.
Blame us in this
Kamla.
Holy strength.
Kamla.
Don't complain.
Kamla.
Every day.
Kamla.
Better days are coming. Coming. Change your ways. Pass you by and remain. Better days are coming. Coming. Change your ways. Pass you by and remain. Have no time for no drama. Misperforming on stage, I'm singing the soca. Yeah, that is life, I can't complain. When things nice, it's felt like rain. This feeling I can't explain. I promise you right now, better days are coming, coming. Change your ways. Don't let this moment pass you by and remain the same. Hey, Patrice again, yeah. And again and again. I want you doing what you time. I'm up in on wasting time. Oh, what you doing with your time, man? I'm not taking on right now, but better days are coming, coming. Change your ways. Don't let this moment pass you by and remain the same. Better days are coming, coming. Change your ways. Don't let this moment pass you by and remain the same. Hey, what we gonna do now? There's no panorama. Hey, we got jump up and play mass in the savannah. Hey, just be patient, hold it straight. Enjoy life and don't complain. You got to pray like every day, and things will be irate. Better days are coming, coming. Change your ways. Don't let this moment pass you by and remain the same. Better days are coming, coming. Change your ways. Don't let this moment pass you by and remain the same. I don't have no time for no drama. Misperforming on stage, I'm singing the soca. Yeah, that is life, I can't complain. When things nice, it's felt like rain. This feeling I can't explain. I promise you right now, better days are coming, coming. Change your ways. Don't let this moment pass you by and remain the same. Better days are coming, coming. Change your ways. Don't let this moment pass you by and remain the same. I always say, Patrice again. Hey, hey, things will get better. Wouldn't last forever. No, no. Things will get better. Hitting go last, hitting go last, hitting go last. Every time now, better days are coming, coming. Change your ways. Don't let this moment pass you by and remain the same. Better days are coming, coming. Change your ways. Don't let this moment pass you by and remain the same. And don't complain. You got to pray like every day, and things will be irate. Hey, Patrice again, yeah. And again and again. I want you doing with your time. I'm up in on wasting time. Oh, what you doing with your time, man? I'm not taking on right now, but better days are coming, coming. Change your ways.
Let's give another round of applause to our political leader. As I continue, ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa, political leader of the United National Congress, opposition leader and former Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, other distinguished officers of the party at the head table, candidates of the STAR team, constituency executive officers, councillors, aldermen, activists, foot soldiers and members of our great party, a very good evening and a special greetings to supporters and well-wishers of the UNC who are viewing and listening to our broadcast in Trinidad and Tobago and at various places around the world. It is a tremendous honor and privilege to address you, to bring greetings from the people of Mayaro and to endorse the STAR team of candidates for the UNC election on June 26th. I heartily support the candidates for the National Executive headed by the eminent incumbent political leader, Ms. Kamla Prasad Bisesa. It is important to understand the current state of Trinidad and Tobago under a government that is clueless, oppressive, and uncaring. As we meet in this hall this evening, there are about 150,000 workers on the breadline. They have lost their jobs as a result of the shutdown of Petrotrin, companies in Point Lisas and energy services companies, not to mention the 6,000 small businesses that went out of business due to COVID-19 and the government's mishandling. That is why thousands of people are suffering and went in search of jobs on a cruise ship last week. This failed government has made no effort to create jobs. In contrast, Mrs. Prasad Bisesa led a government that added 57,000 new jobs to the economy. I want everyone to consider this on this Labor Day weekend. Those are workers who would have afforded to buy baby milk, send their children to school, pay their mortgages, and maybe change their vehicle and afford a little family vacation. Mrs. Prasad Bisesa did it once and she will do it again. In addition, brothers and sisters, have you noticed the amount and the number of companies that are fleeing Trinidad and Tobago? At a time when steel prices are at a world record high, this inept PNM regime allowed multinational ArcelorMittal to leave our country. Now, if you want to do a little construction in your home or your business, you have to pay prices that are double that what existed when Mrs. Prasad Bisesa was our Prime Minister. Brothers and sisters, several companies have left our country over the past 7 years. In each case, sending home hundreds of workers. After half a century, Unilever may just pack up and head out very, very soon. WePay, which is a company owned by a Trinidadian, has gone to Jamaica. Under Rowley, Trinidad and Tobago is shooing away investors. The World Bank says our investment climate is worse than Haiti, which is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. That means it is difficult to do business under this Rowley government. But when Ms. Prasad Bisesa ran this country, we were getting investors to the value of $1.5 billion each year, and that is a fact. That was more money entering the system, which meant more dollars circulating in businesses and everyone enjoying a better standard of life. Brothers and sisters, food inflation is a national crisis. Well, the international experts are telling us that it is going to get worse. The worst is yet to come. And yet, knowing that, brothers and sisters, this dense and lazy government has made no effort to boost food production, to provide incentive for farmers to grow more tomatoes, bhaji and baigan. Every other government in the Caribbean is trying to protect its citizens from having to dig deeper in their pockets to feed themselves. They are working hard to avoid starvation. Just next door, Mia Motley in Barbados and Dr. Ifran Ali in Guyana have come up with a strategy to grow more food in order to ease the burden of inflation. You would recall, under Ms. Prasad Bisesa, her leadership, Trinidad and Tobago boosted the agricultural sector and assist those in the agro-processing industries. Farm roads were repaired and a lot of incentives were given for our farmers so that they could produce food to feed us. But Rowley is cold and unconcerned about whether people could afford to eat properly and to nourish their families. Have you seen the number of people who are begging on the roadsides for $1 to buy food for their children? Sometimes the children themselves are running up to you at the traffic lights begging for assistance. They are not looking for tax breaks or customs exemptions for multi-million-dollar vehicles like Rowley's ministers. Brothers and sisters, Mrs. Prasad Bisesa showed understanding, compassion, sympathy for the small man. She reduced VAT on essential foods. She gave milk money to single mothers. She made NFM cut prices on special occasions. She distributed hampers and grants to all who needed them. She was a face of compassion, unlike Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley. Trinidad and Tobago badly needs a leader who cares, someone who will fix our horrible roads, reduce the waiting periods at public hospitals, resume building preschools, and put money into the Children's Life Fund, and in many other ways which Ms. Prasad Bisesa has helped the common man. We need a leader who would create an enable environment so that big business corporations would invest in our country once again, create jobs and enlighten the downstream industry. This country needs a prime minister who cares about the welfare of the people. You have heard that our country is now the 6th most violent country in the world. What you may not know is that Trinidad and Tobago is now the most dangerous small state on the planet. There is no other country with under 5 million people with so many murders, home invasions, criminal assaults and other body crimes. And this government behaves as though we are living in paradise, according to Stuart Young. The disastrous Minister of National Security remains in office. The Police Service Commission has been sidelined, and we do not have a full-time Commissioner of Police. Ladies and gentlemen, this wretched PNM regime simply does not care about whether people live or die. Dreadful crimes are taking place in broad daylight and in the full view of the country. Ladies and gentlemen, not a gangster in this country fears about being caught, prosecuted and jailed. That is the life of misery under Keith Christopher Rowley. But do not ever forget, we had a competent government under a strong and capable leader as Kamla Prasad Bisesa. She, Honorable MP, and her team can return our country to one of relative peace, economic growth, and to give all of you, all of us, a better quality of life. However, to do that, she requires the full support of the UNC family at the party's election. She has put together an equally skilled and qualified slate, and you should support each one of them in the respective positions that they are seeking. Brothers and sisters, Trinidad and Tobago is in a most appalling and terrible state. We simply cannot go on this way. Our people are dying at the hands of criminals, and they are struggling as a result of unemployment. This is no way to build a young nation. We need inspired leadership, a prime minister who communicates in a civil manner, and a team of officials and talent that is ready and willing to serve. Ms. Prasad Bisesa. Mrs. Prasad Bisesa and her team offer those virtues, and the UNC are ready and prepared to return to national office. So let's begin the march to make Trinidad and Tobago fulfill this bountiful promise. And as I close, let me hear you say, one party, one leader. Brothers and sisters, I thank you very much.
Internal elections is beaten up with star team
UNC,
John,
Lee,
Munilal,
Tanku,
Amin,
Sobers, Mohit,
Hussein,
Sylvester,
Gosai,
Ratuam,
Morris,
Butram,
Badang,
Zaku,
Roberts.
Obika.
17 candidates.
One leader.
Under my leadership, the UNC will never, ever abandon you.
Live stream on all platforms June 26. The United National Congress. One team.
One leader.
My colleagues at the head table, those sitting in the audience from the Toko, Sandy Grande, and Kumoto Manzanilla UNC family. My name is Khadija Amin. I am your candidate for Deputy Chairman of the UNC, and I support Kamla Prasad Bisesa for leader. Two nights ago, a man from St. Augustine constituency WhatsApped me. He said, MP, I keep you here and hearing you and the others on the platform talking about national issues as though this is a national campaign. You're talking about crime, you're talking about all the good things that Kamla Prasad Bisesa did as Prime Minister, but I'm not hearing you talking about rebuilding the party. And I told him, this is an election for the UNC membership to decide who the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago will be. This is not a backyard affair. This is not a session where we do things under the cloak of darkness. We are clearly campaigning not only to return our leader as leader of the party, but as Prime Minister for every single citizen in Trinidad and Tobago. From your numbers here tonight, I feel very confident that Toko Sandy Grande and Kumoto Manzanilla will and my Yarrow constituency, of course. How could I forget my favorite people? I feel very confident that you are ready and you understand the mandate that we who are members of the UNC have before us. So I have no fear, and it is my pleasure to join you here in Sandy Grande to endorse Kamla Prasad Bisesa for leader. One party. Wait. I hear in horn and I hear in a few voices, but I want to hear you repeat and keep these words in your heart. One party, one leader. Long live Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Thank you very much, Sandy Grande.
My brothers and sisters, good night. Good night. My name is Glenn Ram. I'm the chairman of the Kumoto Manzanilla constituency. And tonight, our constituency is proud to support our leader, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, and the star team. Tonight, I have the distinct pleasure of introducing our next speaker. He's a medical doctor by profession, a former deputy political leader of the United National Congress, treasurer of the United National Congress. I give you the indefatigable, the indomitable member of parliament for the constituency of Kumoto Manzanilla, Dr. Rai Rugby.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Glenn Ram. Assalamu alaikum, Sitaram. My friends, thank you. And I warmly welcome you to Kumoto Manzanilla. Kumoto Manzanilla, you're ready to return Kamla as your leader? Pasani Grande, are you ready to return Kamala as a leader? And my arrow, are you ready to return Kamala as a leader? All protocols observed. Tonight, hundreds have gathered here to join thousands more viewing as our nation look on to listen attentively to our leader, Kamala Persad-Bissessar, who she will come back as a leader and she will come back as the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. My friends, I want to assure you all, and I want to assure the leader, Komoto Manzanilla always come third in bringing out votes. Siparia first, Shogunas West. But I put a challenge out to my team. Komoto Manzanilla will go for first. We go beat back Siparia, we beat back Shogunas, and bring out more votes. I have been a member and more so a committed soldier for this party for many years. But it was under the leadership, the stewardship of Kamala Persad-Bissessar that our great party became a true vehicle for change, progress, and nation building. Yes, this lady, give her a round of applause. As a party, we are undertaking this campaign, as said before, to give our children a future. A lady who loves children, because under Kamala, every child had hope. As a party, we are supporting Kamala to give fathers and mothers jobs once more, because under Kamala, everyone enjoyed prosperity, right or wrong. Every road in this country was repaired under Kamala Persad-Bissessar. Another incompetent, Rohan Senanan, he belongs to this constituency in his early days. And we have the worst roads. And that's what you see here. And I'm sure that's a cry for each one of you all here. Every child had a laptop. Parents without means of baby grant. Even the parents, our leader always say that, with cerebral, the children with cerebral palsy, man, they're so wicked, they caught that too. How you could be so heartless? Tonight, my brothers and sisters, as a party, we are saying to mothers who are crying, too many children are suffering, too many fathers are without positions, jobs. Tonight, as a party, we say the only solution for the rampant blight and hopelessness that has engulfed Trinidad and Tobago is to return Kamala Persad-Bissessar as our political leader. As a medical doctor, one of the things I admire this woman, this leader, most about was during the COVID-19 pandemic. Remember, we started sharing out food, cooked foods. She started producing masks. That was her vision. This is the same leader had a vision for Cuba Children's Hospital, which was as life-saving for the management of COVID, and still continues the Point Fortin Hospital and the Arima Hospital. That is a leader with vision. And if Kamala was Prime Minister, I assure you, food prices wouldn't be so high. If Kamala was Prime Minister, medications would not be all your medication you would get on CDAP. Many of you all will realize CDAP have nothing to get, and yet they use a hard-earned money to buy medication. So in one hand, is to buy medication to save your life or eat food. Your choice is yours. But you know what? We will return Kamala Persad-Bissessar as our political leader and our next Prime Minister. My friends, with that, I say God bless. And you know, on Sunday, June 26, 18 stars. Don't start 1, 2, 3 and stop. Go down the line, 18 stars. God bless. Return home safely. Put Kamla back in power.
Ladies and gentlemen, my brothers and sisters, we have reached that time where the air is rare. I want us all who will be introducing the political leader. When she comes to the stage, a lady who has been for all of us, who has been fighting for us, I want to also bring in Suzanne now.
Pleasant good night again to you all sitting in the audience. My political leader, all protocols observed. Tonight I just want to share a little bit with you about who Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessar really is. Ladies and gentlemen, I was a candidate in 2019 election. I went as a candidate for Sandy Grande Northwest. It had about 9 to 10 persons that went there to be the candidate for Sandy Grande Northwest. In our interview, we were asked, if you were not selected as the candidate for Sandy Grande Northwest, if you will support the candidate that is selected. I am sure everybody say yes. But when Councillor Nasser Hussain was announced as the candidate, everybody disappeared. My people, I am here to tell you tonight that loyalty is the word. We have we have a loyal, loving leader, and she deserves the best. And I am here tonight to ask you all to come out and vote on the 26th of this month so that we can endorse our political leader and next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago.
And to welcome the next political leader, the East Side Dancing Dolls, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar.
Patrice again, yeah, and again and again.
Thank you very much. Good evening, UNC family. Put your hands together for the dancers. So I'll start again. Good evening, UNC family. I'm very, very happy to be here after such a long time. I was listening to the broadcast on my way, and I heard Councillor David Law talking about the fact that for 2 years we could not meet person to person, face to face because of the pandemic lockdown. And Councillor Hazari also talked about it. I am so happy for the last week or two that we are able to meet face to face, one on one, and we say praise and thanks to God that we can meet. So So councillors and aldermen in the Grande Corporation, give them a round of applause. And those from the Mayaro Corporation as well, let's give them a round of applause. My parliamentary colleagues with us here and in the audience, activists, and a long-time stalwart, Joe Tony. Give it up for Joe Tony. You know, last night I thought we were in a massive meeting in Central. But I think, Grande, you all had to compete, whether last night or tonight, which one is more massive. Thank you for the crowds, the activists, the supporters who are out here with us tonight. And I will have to ask you, because I want to get the message across to you, to take a little holding on the horns, on the blowing, so that we can get out the voices and get out the words. I know you have a high power, high level, energetic meeting, but the time is against us, and therefore it has become quite late, and I really want to share some words with you tonight. So let me tell Dr. Rai, first of all, there is no way that you will beat Superior and come first in these internal elections. But I will be very happy, very overjoyed. Let us put the challenge out to every constituency so we'll get a bumper crowd, bumper voting come Sunday the 26th. Agreed? We in agreement with that? So Tokosani Grande, are you ready? Mayaro, are you ready? Komoto Manzalina, UNCN, proud, very proud. So I talked to you about what's happening with this PNM, People's National Movement. We have shared with you, we've talked with you about the fact that there is now a pedophile national movement in Trinidad and Tobago. And we have to ask the PNM to tell us who these pedophiles are. Then we saw another minister, the Attorney General, going to a court in Florida and lying on a court document on oath in a courthouse. So we got a perjury national movement. And now, PNM again, we now have a minister committing the highest academic crime that any person can commit, and that is plagiarism. Foster Cummins committed the academic crime of plagiarism at the University of the West Indies. So we now have a plagiarist national movement. You could help me guess what will be the next movement that they have? Saddam will tell you about that next time he speaks. So there are all kinds of things, all kinds of corruption, everything that you should not do, they're doing. And yet Rowley has these people staying in the cabinet, sitting in the cabinet. So you have, as I say, Foster under all kinds of allegations. Not just this latest one for plagiarism, but before that, allegations. Jayanti had read out the special branch report. That's only part of the police investigations. Let us not also forget that he's under investigation for financial transactions by the FIU. People are forgetting that one. He's under investigation about land grabbing. It looked like some of them, they're thieving land, they're thieving house, and now they're thieving people's words. That's what plagiarism is about. They take somebody's word to thief it and claim it as their own. And when he comes to say he made a mistake, you hear lie, that is a big lie. I have the transcript here from University of the West Indies. And I called him out in Macaulay. I said, tell us whether you did X, Y, P, Q. He comes to make it look like it's a little trivial something. I saw it's nothing, it's small business. But I want to remind you, and Professor Watson in an interview today said it, the greatest crime you can commit in the academic world is plagiarism. Do we understand what it is? It is where you take somebody else's words and you put it out as though they're your words. Fraud, that is a kind of fraud, academic fraud, and this is what he did. But when he's interviewed, see the Express today front page, master mistake, he says, well look, he just didn't put footnotes to reference where he took out the words and the quotations from. Just some mistake, something very, very small. This is very huge. This is a transcript from the University of the West Indies. It doesn't say what he's telling us. What it tells us is this. Student name, record of Foster Cummins at the University of the West Indies. What was he studying at the time? A Master of Science in what? In government. He was studying for a Master of Science in government. And then it goes on to tell us, this transcript, student prohibited from registering for 1 academic year due to plagiarism. Student prohibited. He's not saying that, he's saying he withdrew. He didn't withdraw, he was prohibited, he was stopped, he could not continue because of plagiarism. Understand it, so they come with nice fancy words that he made some mistakes and he learned from his mistakes. That fellow will never learn, because every day and every week is some new allegation against Minister Foster Cummins. And what is he Minister of? Youth Development. The thousands of our young people in school, in university, is this what you're telling them to go and do? And to say you are talking about making a mistake about references, this is plagiarism. What is the example you are setting for the young people as a Minister of Youth Development? And Rowley has this man who is under several police investigations, and now this latest fiasco of plagiarism, sitting in his cabinet. Still sitting there, they don't care. All they care about is eat a food. So we call on Rowley, because Foster not going on his own. Rowley has to fire Foster forthwith. He must go now. He must go now. And then he has an Attorney General. The greatest sin you can commit as the highest office in the legal profession is to go to a courthouse and lie. We have an Attorney General. What shame and scandal to the people of Trinidad and Tobago by lying in that Florida court. And he is still sitting in the cabinet. Still sitting in the cabinet. And then you have Rowley himself, who got a great gift, a discount for a townhouse in Tobago. A discount. Well, that is with the Integrity Commission now. So, why are we here? We talk about the 18 stars and you come out on the 26th. Let me remind you, first of all, some people seem to be muddling the dates. The election is on Sunday, 26 June. You will vote from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. But guess what? You must carry your national ID card. Your party card will not suffice. You cannot vote with the party card. Why you must carry a national ID card? It has your face on it. Anybody could pick up a party card and bring it and say, I am this person. No. So your name must be on the membership list. You must bring a national ID as a photo ID. And it's important as well because some people resigned from the party. Some people were expelled from the party. So not just because you have a card, it means that you are on that list. And I'll share something with you. When Sadiq Baksha left the UNC and he went to join up to form this COP, he took the membership list with him, the UNC list. And what he did, he started to send out cards, COP cards, to the UNC membership. The fellow so didn't know what he was doing. He sent a COP card to Dr. Gregory Bissessa, my husband. And so that is why there would be UNC persons who may still have a card, but they may not, they would have joined another party. They would have joined another party and therefore be disqualified from voting. So what we want to do this year, in addition to coming out with your national ID card and coming and casting your vote. And we're going to have a form. And when you come and you say, look, I have a UNC card, we are going to take your data and your information. So once and for all, we can check back to make sure and regularize you. You still will not be able to vote if your name is not on the list on the 26th. We would love all the votes. But as I say, you may have persons in there who are not bona fide members. And so we'll have a special form to take up the queries so that we can regularize your status within the party. So you come out on Sunday. We start the voting from 8 a.m. We end it at 6 p.m. The counting begins, and the rest will be history. So take your party card, please. This is very important. I don't think people understand it. You must take your national photo ID card to ensure that you get a chance to vote. Now, tomorrow is Father's Day, and I want to share a few words with you before I wish you Happy Father's Day. And yes, Mother, we shall wish the fathers Happy Father's Day. You know, I love my father very much. He was not a perfect person. He made mistakes, but inherently he was a good and decent man who loved us, his children. Tonight I tell you, the majority of men are good, and the majority of fathers are good men. And so this battle of the sexes must be rejected when it comes to raising our children. Fathers and mothers are both equally important and necessary in the lives of children. Children raised by both parents, married or unmarried, will always have a greater chance of success and a happy life. Unfortunately, in today's world, fathers and fatherhood have wrongly come under attack by some radical fourth wave feminists in their war against the patriarchy, masculinity, and what they view as problematic behavior. There is no argument to be made for the small minority of fathers who are negligent and abusive to their families. But as a society, we must accept that for too long we have turned a blind eye to the abuses and injustices that many good fathers suffer. Many of these abuses and injustices against willing fathers are allowed to happen because socially and legally, when it comes to access to children, the views, the norms, the thinking of people, they're skewed towards mothers. They're skewed towards mothers. And I want to quote something for you tonight before I close on the Father's Day issue. An article, An Injustice Against Fathers. I quote, and I'll give you the reference, I will not plagiarize. I quote, "Fathers do not need fanciful speeches filled with promises. Fathers need their issues of long adjournments, malicious prosecutions, denied access, malicious omission from the school form, and equal justice in these matters to be dealt with. Too many access and maintenance cases that should have been long solved by mediation are clogging the overburdened court system thanks to many lawyers who have failed to properly instruct their very highly emotional clients." I continue the quotation. "Unfortunately, many non-threatening, supportive fathers are taken advantage of where the court system is used to extract funds and deny access as mothers flout access orders with impunity. No father," I continue the quotation, "can help positively socialize a child every other Saturday or Sunday for 4 hours. That works to 8 hours monthly. That works to just 96 hours a year or 4 days a year. This is where fathers are just given access for that Saturday or Sunday for 4 hours." I continue the quotation. "The worrying absence of non-threatening, supportive fathers is shown in our crime stats, as according to criminologists, many juvenile delinquents come from homes of absent fathers. This quotation comes from the Barbados Today, published May 13, 2020. And so children who have a strong male person in their lives, they have a better chance at success. But there are some women who weaponize child custody. And some fathers will understand what I'm saying because they would have experienced it. The women weaponize child custody and access against willing fathers because of perhaps anger, failed romantic relationships, and they must be equally condemned as delinquent fathers. Today I stand with all the willing and good fathers who have been victims of malicious prosecutions, who have been denied access due to unjust weaponization of child custody and access. As a society, I say we must stand by our fathers. We as a society must change the factors surrounding the idea that fathers are less nurturing than mothers. And tonight, whilst I'm saying this, my goodly center had no idea I'd be saying this, and there he is nurturing his young daughter in his arm, Anna Roberts. A caring and loving father. Today I say to all willing and supportive fathers who have suffered abuses and injustices in their attempts to be part of their children's life, I say to them, fathers, do not ever give up to be a part of the lives of your children. As you, I will always love my father dearly. You should love your father too. Happy Father's Day to all of you, as I thank you. Now I know when I'm finished with this, by tomorrow, some feminists will come out to tell me, but I do believe God created us man and woman. He didn't create us to be opposite or opposite. He didn't, when he was creating woman, he didn't create the woman from the head of the man, because the woman feels she's boss. We still feel we are the bosses, but he didn't do it from the head. And he didn't create woman from the foot, because then the fellas feel they are the bosses and we are inferior. What did he do? Side by side, from the rib, he created man and woman. So together, side by side, we can work to build our nation. We can work to build the human race. And there is a Chinese proverb which says, women hold up half the sky and men hold up the other half. So together we hold up the entire world. So take it in stride, deal with it. I know we have issues in families stemming from the women, stemming from the men, but if we are to make whole children and a whole society and a country, we have to work it out together. So all those things I share with you tonight, out of the love that I have for all of you and that we should have for each other as a one human race. But I have to take some blows. Give me a chance. I have to drop some blows. Because tomorrow is also Labor Day. Tomorrow is Labor Day. And the working class is under threat by this PNM wicked, corrupt government. Everyone is suffering. We are celebrating the 85th anniversary of the founding of the modern trade union movement in TNT. And at a time when workers are facing increasing challenges, worsening economic conditions as a result of this wicked, incompetent government. I saw today, Nasser, I saw today that TSTT has hired TV Kamal Georges from CNC3. I don't know how much they're going to pay Kamal Georges. I don't know what is the relationship between Kamal Georges and the CEO of TSTT. I don't know. But I'm sure somebody will tell us. And so he's hired there. We don't know what price, what salary, but at the same time, is over 400 TSTT workers have to go. How can you find extra money to hire a communications person to do what? To tell the workers, shut up and go home? Over 400 TSTT workers to be sent home. And you're hiring people when you say the company has no money. And there we are, instead of progression, instead of upliftment of workers in this country, we are seeing a regression of the policies, of the programs that we had put in place for the working people and for the vulnerable. This administration, do not forget, they have been presiding over the loss of over 120,000 jobs, Not 100 jobs, 120,000 jobs. One of our speakers before told you about the salary negotiations and the 001. When we were there, we settled over 143 wage negotiations. We gave packages that people could have a living wage. None of that is of any priority to this government. So we celebrate, as I say, the time of Labor Day in very, very dark times with great suffering. And the government has not put one plan, one policy, nothing in place to show us how they will grow jobs, how they'll create jobs, how they'll create revenue to ease the suffering of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Again, you'll say, Kamala, why are you talking about the PNM? This is a UNC election. Well, friends, if we don't talk about the PNM, they will stay there forever, and we have to make sure Rowley must go. Rowley must go. They must all go. They must all go. So if we stand on this platform, Khadija attempted to explain where somebody is saying, why don't we talk how we are building the party? What do you think we are doing here every night? Every night we're in a different part of Trinidad. Every night we're talking to you and sharing to you our plans, our programs, and we're pointing out and exposing the PNM. That's what we are doing to build our great party and make it even greater. That is why we tell you we have the track record. We tell you we have the plans, we have the policies, we have the programs to create the jobs. We did it before. We created over 56,000 new jobs. We have the plans. And when we did that, we did not raise a single tax in the 5 years I was Prime Minister of our country. We did not raise one tax. Not one. Not one. There were no job losses. What we had instead, there would be job losses from one place to the next. But there was not this massive amount of job losses. Instead, we were growing the jobs. So we have the plan. They have done everything wrong that they could possibly do. And each time we speak, we will continue to expose them. So Sunday the 26th is the first step towards retaking government in Trinidad and Tobago. That's our first step. And the second step, once we have finished on the 26th with the internal elections, we will then hold constituency elections to put new constituency executives in place. We will hold the women's arm elections and the youth arm elections. And then we are going for the juggler. Whether it's local or general, we will be fully prepared to take on the PNM any place, anytime, anywhere. We will ask you, our members, to file nominations for the local government election. We will ask those who are interested in being an alderman for the first time, we will ask you to also find a nomination to be considered as an alderman, so we can assess persons to place them as aldermen, equally as we do for councillors. Because when we send in the nominations for councillors to DBC, on the same day, we have to send in the nominations for aldermen. So we will do that. We'll put this a new part within the structure of the party. Anyone who is interested will be free to file a nomination to be a candidate as a councillor and to file to be an alderman for a great party. So these are some of the steps we will take to prepare the party further for whichever election they may call, local or general election. We know the local is due later this year. The general could be even before the local. And the way they're going, I don't think they can last. I think they're on the ropes, they're crumbling, they're mashing up, and we have to make sure we stamp it in their faces, we push them out and expose all the corruption that they have. So I ask you tonight, are you ready? Grande, are you ready? Mayaro, are you ready? Komoto, are you ready? Trinidad and Tobago, are you ready? I say to you tonight, I am Kamla Sushila Prasad Bisesa, and I am UNC, and I'm proud. Let's say together, I am UNC, and I am proud. Thank you. God bless you. Go back safe tonight. And I was very proud when I was driving up here. I remembered something, and I said, where are we? Because where I'm coming from is a little far. But I must commend the Grande councillors. No matter which part of Trinidad we have a meeting, these councillors and your alderman, Susan, they are there. Full support, full support. I thank them for that. And there are many others who are everywhere as well, but they have a special place in my heart and in the heart of the people of Grande. So you all better make sure we win in Grande and in Komoto in this rounds. My Mayaro councillors are just as good, so for them as well, we thank you. And Azari, I know we go back, but you don't have to tell them how many years. Azari, where is he? Yeah, when you say how much years you know me and think, man, I am younger than you. You are dating me when you do that. So I was saying I was very proud when we were driving. I said, where have we reached? I've seen the roundabout here. I feel this is Valencia, the Valencia bypass road. And I was telling my husband, well, that's what I'm going to tell you. I was telling Greg, my husband, I said, Greg, former MP, great soul, may he rest in peace, Rupert Griffith, who was the MP for Grande when I was Prime Minister. And Rupert would come to cabinet every week. Prime Minister, I want this road, I want this. I said, Rupert, why you want this road? Nobody living there, it's only forest. Because when you drive through the bypass, it's still only forest. And he told me, he said, no, Prime Minister, he says, that bypass road will bypass all the traffic on the other side. And it's true. And so we built the road for the people of Grande. We built it. God bless you all. Thank you very much. Those of you who can join us on the 26th after you vote. We shall be meeting at the party headquarters. And of course, we'll be streaming live, so you'll keep in touch with whatever is happening. God bless you all. Get home safe, and thank you.
Kill you should make you stronger. So my problems is like steroids, boy. I get my doses from all kinds of sources, and all of them still can't kill me now. You see, as them sink me under ISO, ride out the storm, them just like a boat. So as the box me down, so I get up. They have to wonder how others get up, and every crack I see, I just see through. And by the help of God, I just get through. I just won't stop. I feel like hope. Trample them, kick out my problems, kick out my problems. I go drink water and mind my business. Drink water and mind my business. I go drink water and mind my business. Drink water and mind my business. Who me? I don't watch people, man. I'm looking for house and land. Who me? I don't watch people things. I's a queen, I have my own king. Or some of them just talk the most, like they know it all. I go drink water and mind my business. Drink water and mind my business. You got an accent, but we're not really different. 99.1% love to wine, represent all that we want to see. Happiness, prosperity, I for you and you for me. Cause if you cut me, you go see blood. And if you squeeze me, you go feel the love. We